Hello, everybody. It's time for another episode of Headlines, and it's going to be an interesting one today because a bunch have happened since last Thursday and this Tuesday. But if you're new here, this is DayOne's twice-weekly show that covers all the latest and greatest across the entire video game industry. Today is March 10th, 2026. I'm your host, Aarsal, because John is once again not here.
Because he
hates Twitter, you know where he is.
Hates the patrons so much that he just can't be around them that often.
Yeah, he has a limit, you know, like it overtook it. And of course, joining me as almost always is Jesse in the production hot seat.
Hola.
How's it going, Jesse?
I'm tired. I woke up at 4 a.m. today and I just knew I wasn't going to fall back asleep.
Yeah, I saw your messages when I woke up this morning at like 5 a.m. and I'm like, why is this guy talking to people at 5 a.m.? What is going on here?
Well, I woke up around 3, was able to fall back asleep till 4, but then woke up and was fully awake and was like, okay. I'm screwed. Yeah. So played some more thing reviewing, and I guess I'll get to news after this and try and take a nap. But we'll see.
Yeah, makes sense. Get some sleep. I'm deep in my Resident Evil playthrough, and I'm on the 3.5 game now. It's fun. It's a good series. I can see how people liked it. The whole puzzle aspect, and like, it kind of like reminds me a lot of like, you know, puzzle games like Tunic and stuff. But those are a fair bit harder. It's not just, hey, read this note, get the safe number, unlock the safe. But yeah, it's fun. Okay, we have a lot to talk about today. And before we do, let's quickly get into some of the site-related stuff. First off, we have the Monster Hunter Stories 3 review out by Genghis. Sadly, not on an Xbox or even a PC. I believe they only gave
video. Yeah, Capcom and some of the Bandai Namco and them and lately have really liked PS5 only. I think. Yeah, I have heard intimations that they are not supposed to use the whitelisting system the way they do. If you remember, you know how Xbox will whitelist your hardware so only you can get that build? Well, it's not meant for that. That's meant for internal testing purposes.
Oh, interesting.
And so for some reason, even though on Xbox gives us a review code, it doesn't show up that you're playing. No one else can use it. It is just a retail code that immediately unlocks. But they don't like to do that most of the time because their day one patches show up like day one.
Yeah, I guess.
And their lead platform, I think they focus on a little getting things done earlier, though even then, the day one patch is still like day one. The weird thing is not having PC. Everyone normally just
that's super weird.
You can put whatever you want on Steam. Once you are approved, you can have all the beta builds you want. It's no problem. Just get it there. It's the easiest crap in the world, but they just don't use it.
Keep in mind, this game is releasing on Xbox. It's not an exclusive. Genghis really liked it. In fact, most people liked it. It has a pretty good Metacritic score. I'll quickly read out his conclusion paragraph. He says, Twisted Reflection is one of a kind. I found myself enjoying the world building of Monster Hunter game for the first time, thanks to a strong cast of characters backed up by an interesting premise and stellar visuals. Combat is fun. The world mechanics all work together to keep you busy, whether it's completing quests or taking advantage with your best monsties. I wholly recommend Monster Hunter Stories 3 to anyone who loves the idea of an animated-like adventure, complete with a modest amount of mechanics that do not burden the player. And he gave it a 9.0 out of 10. I think actually he initially wanted to give it...
He gave it a 9.1, and we said we've moved to 0.0 and 0.5.
Yeah, if you have not noticed, we have moved to a more rigid, I guess you could say, scoring system. No more 0.4s, 0.3s. Man, I love my 0.9s, I'll be honest. 7.9 is my favorite score to give things. Like, it was great, almost great, you know, but 7.5 will do the job.
There's no mathematical equation behind it like old GameSpot had, and even then the things that go into the mathematical equation are still just subjectively pulled out of your ass.
Exactly. It doesn't make a difference. Like, I did used to like how Game Trailers did it back in the day, which is like they rated the story separately, the gameplay separately, the visuals separately, but I don't know if that's really something you can do.
I also just put the words in there that say how I think all those things are.
Exactly. Like, you'll individually talk about each one of those things, and they'll show up in the pros and cons regardless. Also, speaking of the site, check out John's Twitter/Blue Sky if you haven't. He is in San Francisco, right? Yes, San Fran.
They hate it when you call it San Fran, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
Good. I'm going to call it San Fran as much as I can. Punks. West Coast, worst coast. Anyways, he's in San Fran for GDC and looks to be a very interesting GDC. If you haven't checked his Twitter out, He's got some interesting clips and videos of Xbox section, and I think they say this is Xbox's first time having like a section there. I know they're always there doing things, but from what I know, this is their first time like being there in this way with this kind of presence. I have to double check that, but I remember reading that somewhere.
All right. So there might be a little feedback on my mic, so I'm very quickly going. You just keep talking. I'm just gonna unplug and replug.
Yeah, no worries. So there is going to be a I think it's tomorrow, Wednesday. They have a presentation called "Building the Future of Xbox." Okay, that sounded ominous. It's not ominous.
None of which will ever be public. They're at GDC things. So
yeah, and they're not meant for the public either. Keep in mind, these are all supposed to be technical focused talks. For example, you can go and attend the friggin' the talk about porting your PC game to Xbox in one day if you want. You're not going to get much out of it unless you
gotta pay a lot of money too.
Yeah,
the tickets talks
afterwards.
Some things go up, but in general, there's just a ton at GDC, and it's not like a live stream event.
Yeah, I've been here. I've been around. It's just I've been busy with a ton of stuff happening, man. Ugh. I got to focus back in. But you should see a video or two coming out from me later this week. Not necessarily my own stuff, but back to the narrating stuff. In fact, I really should have probably asked Genghis if he wanted a video for Monster Hunter Stories 3. I got to start checking this embargo calendar. I didn't even realize it was about to come out.
There's too much.
Yeah,
we will not be able to cover everything. We don't have enough people. There's too much coming out to cover everything.
Yeah, genuinely. Okay, let's move on to the big news of the week, the month, hell, the year so far if it comes to Xbox, which is Project Helix was officially revealed by Xbox. After, interestingly, first talking about this in 2016, I think Tom Warren pulled up an old article.
Yeah, it was a Schreier and someone else, I forget her name, talking about the internal Project Helix of wanting to bring the Xbox environment and the PC environment together.
It took them around a decade, it seems, but this is all building steps, right? When they first started off in 2017, 2018 is when they started doing the day one PC commitments, I think, and then Play Anywhere started going up, and et cetera, et cetera. Interestingly, when I first saw this announcement, I did not see the tweet by Asha Sharma. I just saw the first one. I'm like, oh my God, they're doing it. And then I saw the tweet where she confirms just straight up, Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. That's it. One sentence. Just all the rumors, all the speculation, just boom, this is what it's going to do. Thanks. See you soon.
And then 4chan confirm. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, if any of you guys have seen some of the 4chan leaks, those are all fake.
Yeah, I posted an article about them because I was hoping it would get me the answer of, are these fake-looking documents fake? Because they're going everywhere and everyone's treating them like they're real. And yes, I was immediately told by people who would know they're very fake.
To be fair, a lot of the stuff in the 4chan leaks seem like they'd probably be true.
That's generally how you know it's fake, especially it's thing. What do you think would make sense? And shit, you called it Game Pass Core, even though it's been Essentials for a while, and you've got weird things on a boot page that would never be there, and just calling it the Helix OS and stuff. It's like, it was pretty. That's why I said like take it with a mountain of salt, and it's 4chan, so. You know, that hell site, and
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so the announcement happened. It has, personally, I just felt really happy that I can still be as excited as I am when I first saw that announcement. I'm like, oh, wow, new hardware. Yes, I love this cycle. I do not love speculation. That was always painful. But I love the cycle of new console hardware that I know I'm going to purchase. You know, like I'm going to buy I checked yesterday. I have 390 Xbox games. I'm going to buy whatever Xbox hardware puts out. You know what I mean? Whatever hardware.
We're in the new hardware cycle of certain rage bait grifters posting how amazing and cheap PlayStation's going to be, and how amazing but expensive Xbox will be. You know the one.
I saw a tweet recently where it's like, listen, if the Xbox Helix is like 1,200 and the PlayStation's like 500, then of course it's not going to do well. I'm like, first off, it's not going to be 700. It's going to be over $1,000. All right, just for those listening, this is going to be a beefy console with a high price tag. If you think you can't afford it,
I think there's going to be multiple.
Now. I think so too. In fact, I'm fairly confident there will be, because even the Series X, they never announced another console. They never officially said there's another SKU until it actually.
And
happened,
I don't think it's only like Magnus. The Magnus AMD Magnus is their code name for that chip,
specific chip.
The T2 for their next their RDNA 5. They've got T0, which is like a friggin' 6090 equivalent server grade beast, which might be what they use for xCloud. T1, T2, I think T3. Like, I imagine T3. From what smart people have said, there's no reason why a cheaper chip couldn't also still run Xbox Series games and not cost as much as what is essentially a 5080 equivalent, raw performance-wise.
5080 is still powerful as hell.
It's unbelievably powerful and stupidly expensive. It's like 4 or 5 times better.
Both of us have the 9070 XT, right?
No, I've got the 7900 XTX.
Oh, damn. Okay, all right.
I have 24 gigs of VRAM, so I'm a millionaire.
Either way, both of us the same processor. Yes, we have the 9600X, right?
No, I'm still on the 5800X.
Oh, what the? Okay, we used to have the same. Yes.
But upgrading is literally every motherboard, CPU, RAM.
And so we haven't done the AMD. What's it called? The new chipset, AMD 5, something 5.
Yeah, I'm on AMD 4
yet. Oh, it's such a pain.
Yeah, like a 5080 is better than what like 90%, 95%, 98% of people have on PC is still like 2060.
I have a really nice PC. I still play the vast majority of my games on my Xbox, and part of it is just that PCs are a pain in the butt, man. I'll be honest, they're just irritating. But if this console and if the rumored specs, which are still relatively confident, like the Magnus specs out there, are leaked by
it's raw hardware. We don't know what they're going to try and push for performance because, like, our PCs are strong, but they're also drawing like 2 or 3 times the wattage of a Series X. And to answer Didact in chat, is the Magnus chip alone stronger than the Series X? So if you just want like Series X was maybe a 2070 equivalent, which was mid-range for the time. Magnus would be 5080-ish, which by then is mid-range for the time. Like there will be a lot stronger for
I would
way
say
more money.
Probably mid-high compared to
if it was mid-low to mid, I would go.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair.
But it
should be
way stronger than a Series X.
Yeah. And I know some people are saying we don't need it. Give it to me. I don't care. You don't need to purchase the damn thing. Like you said in the podcast, cross-gen's going to go for another friggin' 7-8 years. Like, it's not stopping, guys. Not for any time soon with the series consoles and PlayStation 5s and Nintendo Switch 2s and whatever their handheld is. So give me the option to purchase a flippin' monster and play my games better looking.
A new Forza Horizon vid went live on IGN. I'm curious, is it still in it? Rendered at 1080
still 30 FPS?
Let's see. Let's go see real quick.
Man.
It is 30 FPS.
How do you... I mean, is this a Playgrounds thing? Are they only providing them 30 FPS footage?
I guess.
But if you're IGN, can't you like throw your weight around and be like, hey, can you give me some 60 FPS footage, please? Like, or do you just not say anything?
I don't know. And it goes all the way up to 1080p.
Just really quick, what do you think they're going to call this damn thing? Just
I have no idea.
If you have one off the top of your head.
Yeah, anyone who thinks they know is insane because you never know.
It's got to be like a code word, right? Another like one name word. Xbox 6 would be beyond stupid. That's never happening.
Xbox 7, be one ahead of them.
Right?
Be like the OT on Recetera, where the PlayStation OT was way behind Xbox because there wasn't as much to talk about. So they just leapfrogged them in number.
That still cracks me up. Oh my God, the insecurity. I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. I'm gonna say it's coming called Nexus. So the word Nexus is gonna be somewhere in this name. Anyways,
no idea.
But yes, since then we've had a bunch of people saying it's just a PC. It's not a PC. Tom Warren put it simply enough. If it can play, let's say GTA 6 gets delayed one more year and it comes out when this console's out, this console can play it. My PC can't.
Well, there we go. What is a console? A console is a set spec of hardware that has its own developer environment, essentially.
Yep.
So, like, it's a set of hardware that has its own dedicated OS that just isn't everywhere else. But even like Steam OS is just Linux. That is a PC where it's not trying to be a hybrid device. They've never, ever treated it like one. They have said this is a TV, a little box that's going to run your Steam Deck games a lot better on your TV because we know a lot of you dock on your TV. Whereas this is a console that will be able to access PC games, not a PC that can access console games, if that makes sense. Because they don't want.
It's really that simple.
They don't want people having full PC access and going through and hacking shit. Like they've actually kept the Xbox One and Series generations relatively unhacked.
Yep. And also, I think the need for hacking kind of went down once games started going on like steep discounts. You know, like people keep saying, "Oh, well, who would buy anything on Xbox when you have Steam sales?" Listen, I don't know whether you just haven't owned a console in the last 7-8 years, but Steam sales are no longer a Steam exclusive thing. I bought like 9 Resident Evil games for like $70. 9 of them, like including Resident Evil 4, it came out like 2 years ago. Games go on heavy discount now. It's not an issue. The same thing.
It is technically.
Yeah, no, I had an argument with someone. Yeah,
like it's not great for the. You get more sales, but it's so unbelievably front loaded if you're not Nintendo, you know.
Oh yes, yeah.
For actually making money.
It's some
I
of the
support
stuff
the
we've got there.
Once I can give them 90% off sale.
Yeah, exactly. I will never claim that I'm supporting a developer by buying a game for $6 when its original price is $70. It's more just, hey, I want to own it officially.
And by that time, most of them have probably been fired.
Exactly. Or moved on to something else or something.
Yeah, because it's maybe still a gig type of work where people jump from project to project, but yeah.
Yep. Gaming is a revolving door for those who don't know, which makes sense in a sense. In fact, even stuff like engineering, if you know someone in engineering and they're in automotive, chances are they've worked at all of the big 3 and then some. This is kind of how these professions work. But yeah, no, man, I've had some fun arguments with people about I'm like, listen, my Xbox can play my 15-year-old Oblivion save. And eventually the guy's like, well, why would you even want to do that? And I'm like, that's not the question. That's not the point. PCs can't. All right. It's that simple. Jeff, same thing to you, man. You got community noted again. It came back. All right. Somehow you got it removed. It's back. It's really not that complicated, guys. It really isn't. It's a PC console hybrid, which we'll learn more about in the coming days.
Especially when multiple people were like, it's going to use UWP. It's like,
my God.
That has been gone for 4 years. That was deprecated in 2021, I think. Like they don't.
I do think some aspects will affect us. For example, with it coming to PC console hybrid, PC Game Pass. If you're a PC Game Pass user, stock up as many years as you can because either the price is going to jack up or they're going to merge it with Game Pass Ultimate. One of the two.
Premium.
Just keep that. And then remove the day one factor from it. Yeah, that's an aspect. Yeah. Maybe.
That was the rumors.
But then in that case, it'd probably still convert anyone who currently has it to Ultimate because they wouldn't remove access.
No, because that'd be too much money.
It would be, but actually you're right. Yeah. Either way, if you're in PC and you only have PC Game Pass, just do yourself a favor. Stock up. I told that to everyone before everyone knew the price upgrade was going to come. Stock up. People still didn't. And then they're like, oh, I'm paying monthly. Why are you paying monthly? Are you crazy? You're watching us. You're an enthusiast.
For months, you could have just gone and gotten for $20 online.
Literally.
Too. But also, I see Didact asked, will Helix have paid online? I could not see that.
Not a chance in hell. Not a flipping. There's absolutely no way.
It could.
I want to pay for this game.
It really shouldn't, I guess I should say. It should not, because that would make no sense. Because then everyone.
Yeah, and it's not even the Steam aspect. You could purchase a game and then on Xbox console mode, it's paid. Then you switch to PC and you're playing through Xbox PC and it's not paid. That makes 0 sense. And they know that makes 0 sense. We are finally. When did we predict this? That they were moving paid online 10 years ago, I think, when we first started talking about it.
I started talking about it more when they started putting more into Essentials and Premium. Essentials and Premium are a lot better than they used to be.
Speaking of,
if you're not FOMO,
Premium is fantastic.
Yeah, if you're not FOMO and you don't need to play things day one, just have Premium and you have an insane library.
Yeah. And a bunch of really great Game Pass games aren't day one games. They're games that come out a little bit after, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just came to Game Pass. Premium as well. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that would come to Premium. That
day one ports, even if they haven't been on Xbox, if they are not a new launch, they go to Premium.
Yeah, and Premium is still 14 US, 15 US or something. It's a pretty reasonable price. For anyone who thinks Ultimate's too expensive, sub to Premium, and then when a game comes out that you really want to play day one, bump up to Ultimate for that month. That's it. It's actually, I think, probably a good plan. But yeah, no, we'll see. A lot of changes still on the horizon. Exciting stuff, some cautious stuff, and we'll see. Jesse, if they announce the code word to this year, we're expecting a 27 launch, right? Most likely.
RDNA 5 will be ready by the end of 2027. So it literally can't be before then. Just from what
not before. I meant
Well, no, I'm saying
there's not a chance
even people are like it could not be. It was never 2026. Which certain guy who used to be in our Discord was always like, I think it's going to be 2026. I'm like, AMD has straight up said RDNA 5 is not ready until the second half of 2027.
No, I meant more 28. There's no chance in hell it'd be 26. I'm more like, is it going to be 28?
There were people who really thought it would be 2026.
That's crazy. Yeah. 26, there's not a chance in hell.
Yeah. And it is interesting with the hybrid approach. I think they keep the Xbox store going for a while because the Xbox console ports going for a while because series consoles are still going to be out there in the dozens of millions as they are now. Honestly, they don't disappear.
If porting is as easy as it is for them to do, and if they make it kind of as seamless as it is, I could see them developers releasing it on the Xbox console store regardless, even when the series console starts fading out.
Their sales pitch is literally you make it once and it works everywhere, and not just there. Like literally, you make it once, it works on all the PC storefronts, and have intimated, but we'll see about other consoles.
Yeah. I guess what's interesting is I guess technically you'll be able to open up 3 or 4 versions of the same game if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like Xbox console version, Xbox PC version, Steam version. Heck, if you own it on Epic Game Store, that's that version too. That's just PC for you though, right? Like it's what it is. But yeah, no, if you want to hear more about Helix, there's the entire friggin', in fact, I was going through the timestamps for the podcast. And I'm like, let me see this one. And it's like, talk about Helix. Next timestamp, 2.5 hours later, or an hour and a half later. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, this is it.
Helix and then PlayStation PC were both about an hour. And it's funny, I put an audio file with all of our things and had the little AI guy figure out who's who, and Nick was almost 80% of the show. And during that show, he said, I've barely talked.
Oh, man, that's funny. But anyways, yeah, check that out if you guys haven't already to see some stuff on it. And let's move on to the next one, which is still about the Xbox Helix. There's been a lot of discussion about this town hall that Satya had with all the Xbox folks. And there's some discussions about words like blank check and stuff like that, which were not used.
Nope.
However, we did get some interesting quotes and essentially reaffirming Microsoft's commitment to gaming and Xbox as a whole. Jesse, what do you think the best quote here is?
No idea. There was a lot of them. It was essentially just
there's a ton.
I have audio. Here you go. Transcribe this. So I don't know.
Okay, how about this one? Satya, I'm pretty sure, says, for me, we're long on gaming. We'll continue to invest and will always do so. Xbox is Microsoft's like primary front-facing, consumer-centric brand. You could argue Office is, but Office is associated with work for the most part, right? Schoolwork, real work, regardless, it's work stuff. Xbox is and always has been their primary, hey, this is your gaming brand. This is what it is. And I don't give a crap how many people claim it's dead or whatnot. It is still a recognizable brand, particularly in the areas which they make the most money, which is North America, UK. Right? People always say, oh, how does Xbox have so many users? Or how does it still make this much money that it does? Because it primarily has those people as their primary audience who have the money to spend. You know, like it's kind of rough, is what it is. The main thing I took from this town hall was A, Xbox isn't dead. B, Satya's not here to Windows Phone the damn thing, right? Which, by the way, even he admitted was a mistake. They did it too early, for those who didn't know that. Like, and I don't know, man. It's come down to the same discussion. They're investing in the console. It's not going anywhere. We're here. Like,
it's because the regular people always come out and take anything that could be positive if you actually like follow and use the platform, and they treat it like, well, there's nobody left using it. They're definitely going to kill it. Like that was last week's Kind of Funny with Greg in Paris. It was like Greg said at one point, like, there's. Who cares about their Xbox library? I'm like, there's a lot of people who care about it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You spend, when you have many hundreds of games spanning back through 3 generations. Like,
literally.
And you can bring that forward.
4 generations, technically.
And there's also been people like, where are the exclusives? And it's like, well, the main one's Game Pass, but also most kids don't give a shit. They just want to play everything new on PC that their friends and especially streamers are playing. And being able to have that on a console would be an exclusive feature that I think
you know what people are playing on PC?
People.
You know what kids are playing on PC? They're not playing friggin' Red Dead Redemption. They're not playing these giant, really fantasy-looking AAA games. They're playing crap like Lethal Company. They're playing crap like Peak. How big did Peak get? Right? Is it on any consoles? No, I don't think so. Those games, Lethal Company, Peak, Phasmophobia, crap like that, all those games, which are games that come and go, but they get like an insane
even
audience.
worse version of Roblox, that is the Wild West of IP theft and horrible pedo nastiness.
All those games, every single one, suddenly, those are now Xbox exclusives console-wise. Not on the Switch, not on PlayStation. Whether Microsoft will try and leverage that aspect of their console remains to be seen. I think that is where I still take the biggest issue with Microsoft in terms of their messaging, their marketing to an extent. I know I hate the marketing discussion, but it still kind of irritates me that they released like a bunch of really good to great games last year and no one talked about it enough, which isn't all on them, but I feel like part of it could be. Either way, those games, those are like the lifeblood of new Steam titles. They are not going to be playable on the Xbox console. And the cheap version too, by the way. They don't need a beefy $1,200 box to play Peak. You know, like you'll be able to play on whatever the hell their cheaper console is. Stuff like that is an exclusive. It really is. Like how Roblox was. I know Microsoft still never talked about that either. You know, like
Roblox was problematic, and I think they.
Yes, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. Also, I'll be honest. I don't fully get the never believe anything Satya says takes. At the end of the day, Microsoft as a company flipping exponentially blew the crap up under him. Like literally, I went and I checked their stock recently because I was kind of curious. And I'm like, why the hell did they jump like insanely from like, 2014 onwards? I looked at their articles and for the most part, they're like, yeah, it was Satya. He opened the console up. He got away from the bombers, dev, and lockdown ecosystem aspect of the thing. Yeah, the dude's not perfect. Yes, he makes a bunch of mistakes. Windows Phone was a big one, but he wouldn't have his position.
About AI.
Absolutely insane. Like legit, like dude, relax. It's not this super perfect. And actually, I had a discussion recently with someone who works similar in AI, and he was also really, really bullish on it. But more so like the LLM aspect of it and like how it's like really going to change things. I'm like, okay, man, we'll see. Because right now as a consumer, all I'm seeing is crappy AI art and Gen AI, which generally we're already sick of. So show me what you got, right? There are some leaks out there with Microsoft's Copilot stuff and how they might implement it into the console. I won't say nothing. But if it helps, I won't say no, right? Playing the Resident Evil games, I've had to take my phone out, look stuff up, probably like 3-4 times a game. If I can do that straight on the console with no seamless stuff, I'd appreciate that.
What if they can have the little AI hologram ladies as part of your console? Xbox, dance for me.
But yeah, no, I get it. Satya's not to be trusted. No exec is supposed to be trusted, especially one making millions, working for $1 trillion company, blah, blah, blah. That being said, he wouldn't have the job he has right now if he didn't make money for Microsoft. It's kind of that simple. So we'll see. Okay, let's move on. Anything else you want to talk about the quotes wise?
Nope, I don't remember any of the quotes because there was a lot. It was like the entire transcript of it. So
yeah, it was a huge article.
It's on Windows Central from Jez if you want to go read it.
Yes. One thing I will say is that Asha has some really nice kind of paragraphs about focusing in on the console, and I really appreciate that. As someone that does like Xbox hardware, all I want from this next device is play my Xbox games, DayOne games on Game Pass. That's it. Those are the two things I want.
I feel like in her time with Phil and Sarah, she had it beat into her head. We got to start promoting the console again.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. All right, and in actually, let's take a quick ad break. Yeah, we'll talk about that for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. But when we come back, we'll be talking friggin' long ass string of miserable news. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I look straight up. Holy crap.
This is Console Wars, the card game. Featuring more famous video games than you can shake a stick at, Console Wars finally allows you to win a war you've been fighting and probably losing on the internet your entire life. Quit being a keyboard warrior with the warm embrace of anonymity to protect you. Now you and your friends can fight on the front lines, battling for incredible franchises, exclusivity, and eventual victory. Collect some of the most famous video game franchises of all time. Protect them with loyal and frighteningly dedicated fans. Brave the volatile video game industry and claim the ultimate victory in the console wars. Your favorite video game making mega corporation needs you. Enlist today. Head to consolewarsgame.com. Pick up a copy of Console Wars the card game, outshine your rivals, and prove that your platform reigns supreme. Out now.
Okay, and that was the good section of headlines, and now we are in the bad section of headlines, or the negative one, I should say. Starting off with, honestly, this news kind of, I really don't understand it, but the title is EA lays off staff across all Battlefield studios following record-breaking Battlefield 6 launch. That's an article from IGN. What the hell?
They haven't kept their player base. And
yes, you're right. That's
one of the main issues that they were, crowing about early on, because they really thought people would want it, is they can't monetize the same way Call of Duty does, because they don't do the stupid IP crossover.
Yep.
Which is what pays for these games to exist. Why is Overwatch bigger than ever? It just keeps having more and more IP crossover, which really helps the base game get better. Like, it pulls more people in and everything.
Collab stuff is not new. If you've ever played like a gacha game from even a decade or a decade and a half ago, I played Puzzle and Dragons for a long time. It had the craziest collabs you can flip and imagine, man, from Western properties too. Collabs kind of are the lifeblood of online games. Battlefield 6 had a fantastic launch. I think it was the best-selling game of the year. It overtook COD for the
You can be the best-selling game
ever.
of the previous year and still get fired. Yeah, because you were supposed to sell 100 million copies.
I guess it kind of reminds me a little bit of Halo Infinite in the sense that Halo Infinite had a fantastic launch. It had 20 million players. It was top 5 on Xbox most played for a good 2-3 months. But then the post-launch support wasn't up. With Battlefield 6, I don't know. Is it because they're missing a game mode like Warzone and crap like that? Like, why do people stop playing the game? Is it just the content wasn't quick enough?
It's not good at being COD. It needs to be more Battlefield, and the maps are COD. The maps are. I don't like the map. I love Battlefield way more than I've ever played Call of Duty, and these maps all feel like Sweatfest Call of Duty, and not giant open. Let me be a cool tank crew or helicopter pilot Battlefield. Like, there's a couple of open maps, and one of them's horrible. So I just had nothing to play. I didn't want to constantly do a Sweatfest running through cities and smaller environments and stuff. It's a good game. But it's not as good. And for all the issues Call of Duty has had, it's way better multiplayer this year. Whereas Black Ops 6 was the biggest one, great campaign, pulled so many people in, multiplayer and zombies were okay. But then this year's Call of Duty, people just had fatigue on it being the same Call of Duty again. But the reality is the actual multiplayer, if you really want that type of multiplayer, was way better this year. And they have so much better content throughout the first few seasons, whereas Battlefield has some of the other issues a lot of these games have, where when you aren't unbelievably big, just an insanely large group of people making stuff, it is very hard to constantly get content out. And even though there's so many maps you'd think they could pull in from Battlefield 2042 and stuff, because that game eventually had a bajillion maps, there's still just not that many. And I guess they don't really fit the themes and the gameplay systems of this one, being so much more close quarters combat. And
also, to be fair,
they really focused on Battlefield Labs, which no one's ever cared about.
Yes. Yeah, that's
no one has cared about Battlefield Labs. No one cared about RedSec.
Yeah, I noticed that too. They had a lot of focus on that. And okay, to be fair, they probably bulked up a fair bit to release the game.
But they made Battlefield Studios, bringing in Motive and a bunch of others to just work on Battlefield, pretty much.
By the way, they also did the COD thing, where on Xbox's thing, it's just Battlefield now, not Battlefield 6. I think they just kind of merged them all.
It was always a segmented launcher on Xbox, where you would download or don't download each part. Yeah.
Oh, flip. I have not played a Battlefield game in a very long time.
No, this is the first one I remember doing that.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. The amount of layoffs is unspecified. This isn't like they're shuttering the Battlefield team, things like that. This could very much be, hey, listen, we brought all these studios together. The studio's huge. We had a great game, but now we're kind of, narrowing down the focus a little bit as you go more support aspect to it. We'll see. It does still suck though. It's that one meme, right? It's like, hey, make a great game, get laid off. Make a bad game, get laid off. Made an okay game, get laid off. Doesn't flipping matter what you do, right? Like, welcome to the industry.
We've been lucky. There haven't been, what has it been?
18 months?
No, it's been a while since Xbox has had.
Yep. No matter what Sneakers says, Sneakers saying, I didn't say that enough. No, yeah, you did. You said there would be mass
layoffs. Did they have them
in
2025 or I forget.
They did. I believe they had layoffs January 2025.
Yeah. I think it's been like roughly a year. I can't remember if they had them over the summer as well or not, because it's so shitty that it happens so often that it's hard to remember.
What happened was they did it's just layoffs happened throughout. So they announced it in January, and then you will still see people getting laid off.
Last summer was the Perfect Dark and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I think
so. So we're not even a year into their last one. Yeah. We're just lucky that it wasn't every 6 months. It's been a little friggin'.
Yeah. And to the point, I genuinely expected them to lay off people in January because everyone does. I know
as
people
a company, they didn't really do it because morale was horrible. Which part of the CEO change has been interesting to see people being like, I'm Eden, who we know, who works on the UI side of things, is like, I've never the most energized I've felt in a long time. And I've
Stein, I think, has had a couple tweets showing that he's happy.
Heard similar things internally. I'm talking with people who know. People feel good, but it's a corporation, so that will never last.
Yep. But yeah, no, I was fully expecting layoffs in January. They didn't happen, so I'm cautiously optimistic in that aspect.
They really did happen at places like Amazon and others, but yeah, Microsoft didn't for once. I think like Microsoft,
15,000, I think 25K. It was ridiculous.
They keep it under a certain threshold, and they don't have to do the warn notices. And a lot of times, we'll find out things like this if studios are in LA or California. Then they've got very specific laws on depending on the state you're in and stuff. So. Yeah, we don't know the numbers on this, but we do know someone whose significant other was affected. It just sucks.
Good ones. Yeah.
It really blows when, like, it is crazy that you can have the best-selling game of the year and what is it, 4 months later? 4.5 months later or so, you have a layoff big enough to have to announce it.
It's interesting. I had a conversation with a close friend of mine who was on the other side of the layoffs, where he was at a company, not any of these companies, at a company, an automotive company, and like they laid off a good chunk of their people, and he was on the other side. Like he was the one that wasn't laid off and was still kind of just talking to people. And he's like, man, people would come in and like they were like so emotional, and I'm like, yeah, well, the people they know got laid off, like they would be emotional. But yeah, anyways, moving on to more. Actually, this is not.
This was oh no news, and now it's okay.
Yeah. So first, you had Valve say that the Steam console they hope to release in 2026. That got picked up by everybody, and so they went and they reverted it to, especially you, Jesse. They went and reverted it to, we will release in 2026.
Still no pricing. It was supposed to be first half, so now it doesn't seem like it's first half anymore. There's heard rumblings that they can't so they might have had their first, I have no idea if they did or didn't, but they might have had their first allotment, but they are struggling sourcing parts and components. It's the main thing everyone's struggling with RAM and storage. The interesting thing to see this play out is you now have Steam, Nintendo, and PlayStation all facing significant component shortages versus Microsoft, who is not facing those because they bought them all up. They are one of the main reasons. They are one of the people that are causing the problem. Yeah, like if you're angry at this shit, be angry at OpenAI and Microsoft and Amazon and Google.
NVIDIA, Google, Netflix, I think even.
Microsoft's in the group that will have everything they want because they could never use everything they're buying. So it will be interesting to see what gets allocated to Xbox and if that affects the price at all, because we don't know the Steam machine price. It is targeting significantly weaker specs, but still better than the average on Steam. The
Valve has never been a hardware company, right? Regardless of how many Steam Decks they've sold or indexes they've sold, hardware's always kind of been a secondary thing for them.
They are the software juggernaut.
Exactly. So it makes sense that they're struggling here in terms of sourcing parts, because I doubt they're even going to make that many orders, right? A new Xbox console, for the most part, still probably going to have like an eventual order base of like 20, 30 million consoles created, right?
Yeah, they've never been... the first one was, what, 20-ish? And then they were 80-something and then 50-something. And then if they end this generation, they'll be over 40. On their way to 50, maybe. Who knows if they push hard again during Grand Theft Auto's release.
Yeah, I'm curious about that because I mean they'll still have the cheapest way to play the game. Technically, are they going to take advantage of that?
Well, I guess it's cheaper by like $50 right now. They would need
the Series S.
Half the time the Series S is like what, $450?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the digital PS5 likes to be about. The digital PS5 is going to be a lot cheaper during Grand Theft Auto launch.
You're right. That's fair. They will absolutely reduce it in price. Yep. 100%.
But the Steam machine, they are in a position where they've always. Valve has never obfuscated what this machine is or who it's for. They've been completely level, like they always are, because they're like, hey, we see a ton of people on our Steam Decks docking them to TVs. They're weak as piss trying to run on a TV resolution. Let's make this little cool box that like 3 times more powerful at the least, probably like 9, because it can pull a hell of a lot more wattage from the wall.
Yep.
And then you can actually have your Steam Deck experience run nicely. But boy, they have gotten screwed by the time.
Yeah.
Like this would have been a really cool box to come out this month for like $600-700, which is funny because people are like, it's got to be $400 or no one's going to buy it. It's like, it's not a console. It is a Linux PC. You are having a PC gaming experience where most things are probably going to be fine on a controller, but a lot of Steam is built for mouse and keyboard, which by default means it's not a console-like experience for people, especially with how often that shit broke on me. I had my Steam Deck rebuild itself like 15 times. Maybe I was just unlucky, but...
Holy crap. Yeah, like I had to buy a friggin' Bluetooth keyboard for my ROG Ally when I wanted to dock it. Yeah, just because you kind of need that keyboard mouse.
Not a console.
Yep.
These are consoles. Look, I'm like,
hey,
Mike.
So are they plugged in back there? Jesse, I was always curious.
One is plugged into. They're all plugged into power, but only one has HDMI to go to my capture card.
Do you like
just move it between them?
From the capture card you grab it. Smart. Okay. Yeah, no. We'll see with the Steam Deck. The Steam machine. It'll come out. It'll be expensive. It'll sell probably a few million. It'll do its job. Hopefully.
But all PCs will be expensive. The entry level PC is probably going to disappear for a while.
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, the RAM prices alone have doubled or tripled in the last like 10 months.
Yeah.
Like it's just stupidly ridiculous. It's if you wanted to build a PC, you should have done it a year and a half ago.
You need to go look for a pre-built right now. You can get some good deals.
Yep.
Who knows for how long?
Yep. All right. And back to actually, this is kind of fun news, and hopefully they get something with it. Nintendo is suing the U.S. government over the illegal and unlawful tariffs that they succumb to the world.
But the government just said, sorry, we don't have the money left anymore. And what's anyone going to do to them?
Yeah. If you're afraid of being political, I advise you to leave right now because this is a politically charged topic. The current American government has been attacking the world financially and I guess financially, is the word. Anyways, part of it was these tariffs. And as someone who works at a UPS store, it's something I dealt with all the goddamn time. In fact, since September 29th last year, I have been unable to ship any kind of food items, by the way, to the States. Nothing. No coffee, no friggin' tea, no... I think even like some like over-the-counter medicine isn't allowed. I've had tariffs charged on a piece of paper. Some guy's personal mail. He was charged $40 to receive it when he came there. I'm like, what? He was like, what? I'm like, I don't know, man. Blame your government. What's going on here? There are countries around the world, many countries around the world that have been refusing to ship to the USA. Period. Romania, some other countries. So I've literally had people ship things to my store and then they come and pick it up when they cross the border. Because like, oh yeah, they weren't shipping it to America for some reason. I'm like, yeah, it's because of all this crap. Now we're finally getting some blowback. When the Supreme Court clarified that these tariffs were illegal, right? And now you have various companies, I guess Nintendo's is the one we're focusing on here, but it's not just Nintendo, there's other companies too, saying, hey, we paid you a ton of money on tariffs, which they didn't actually. The consumers paid that money.
So I think the Nintendo might have a leg to stand on because they did not raise the cost of the console.
Oh, that's fair.
Anyone smart would know that dock isn't $125 to make. Yeah. They raise the prices everywhere else to pass it on to people.
Yep.
But they will technically be able to say they did not raise their console prices because of it, but Microsoft and PlayStation did, which is why you haven't seen them sue, I would imagine. Plus, both of those companies are like, it's probably not worth pissing off this very ticky-tacky, let's go after them if they make us sad government, because we need government contracts and we need things to get put through in the future, and it's not worth.
Yeah. Will this ever really evolve to anything? Chances are it'll be settled out of court and they'll get some token money or something, right? That's what happens. That's what happened with the friggin' Ticketmaster, right? Thing happened, a few days ago? Spend years building it up. Boom. Hey, yeah, we don't really care. Here's 300 million. Thanks. Have a good day. But at the same time, it's at least showing some element of, hey, you can't just bully the world, right? Like there'll be some consequences, hopefully, even though, for the most part, the people that paid the tariffs were you, the consumers.
Tariffs are a tax on the consumer in that country.
Yeah. Will they get the money back? No. Pretty sure the government already spent it. Will they have to sue for it? Maybe. I mean, you're suing for your own money back, really. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know.
See, that's why I still consider this one not happy news. This one is still just frustrating.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Not as frustrating as the next one.
Canadians were excited, and then the next thing we see is Trump saying, "Oh yeah, well I'll just do 10% on everything." Okay, dude. All right, bro. I guess your country has no rules, no law. Just do what you want to do. By you, I meant his.
I mean, there's supposed to be checks and balances, but they were eroded for a very long time, and so now it's pretty much just who's going to stop me?
Literally, that's what it's coming out to be. Okay, moving on to more bad news. NetEase, who's funding a ton of stuff, is stopping the funding for Gang of Dragon developer Nagoshi Studio. For those who don't recognize that right away, that was the Yakuza-looking game starring the Korean actor from Train to Busan. We saw that at TGA, I believe, right?
The Eternals.
And the Eternals, yes. That was one of the big things that he was in. And I think one of the original Yakuza creators is behind the studio, I believe, right?
Yep. And NetEase has kind of come around to the realization that starting up new studios and having them make big games takes a long time and costs a lot of money. So they wasted a ton of cash on things that are never going to see the light of day. The report was it's going to need another like 4 years and 3 years and 44 million or something like that.
Yeah. It was a fair bit.
So
like it's a good chunk of money.
You can go and try and find someone else, but no one's investing money in games. So, that's why I know people go after Game Pass a lot, but it really is one of the only places you can find funding as a third party. But it's also limited, even if it's $1 billion a year, which is a crazy amount of funding that no one else is really doing. There are so many games coming out that you could fund 150 of them spending that $1 billion, and there's 18,000 that you can't fund. Like there's just that many. There's 19,000 games on Steam this year, I think, or last year. There's something crazy like that.
Ridiculous.
Like there's a ton of shit. This one looked real cool. It finally looked like a proper upgrade, which Yakuza never gets because Yakuza has no budget. And I remember in an interview a few years ago, he was talking about how it feels nice to actually have a budget. And now his budget's gone and it just sucks ass. I hate it.
That's rough. It's speaking of Game Pass games really quick, if you have looking for a game to play and you haven't, check out Mini Shoot Adventure. It actually is really fun. It's really cool. Give it a shot. It's on Game Pass. But anyways, I feel bad for anyone involved. Part of game dev is what it is. When you invest in something, your goal isn't to get the money back. That's never anyone's goal to invest. When you invest in something, your goal is to get a certain amount of return back on things.
And most of the time, the venture capitalist return is when things get sold. I was watching Adam Boyes talk with Jeff Gerstmann about it, and it's like they're not, this game didn't perform. It's like I'm investing in this studio. When the studio gets bought, I get a ton of money. Like that's the goal. And I see the Black John asks, so is this the case as Perfect Dark? Yeah, Perfect Dark, Project Blackbird, and see if the friggin' devs. Jesus Christ. Everwild were all cases of they're not close and they're going to cost a ton of money. It doesn't mean they're bad. Sometimes they look at things and like it's just not turning out right. But from
like
what we had heard,
another 4 years, I get it. Like
it's going to be $100 million and it's not close. And then they're like, no, we messed up.
Before we move on, there was a super chat that I forgot to read, which is kind of funny too, by the way. Just here to show some support to Aarsal and Jesse. Kudos to Aarsal's review of Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance review. Just purchased the game. Let's go. I did not review Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance. Chances are I did the voice and the video editing for it, but no, I believe Genghis.
That's why I used to tell John all the time. It's like, I keep being thanked for reviews or yelled at over reviews just because I did the video for it. I'm going to say, this is me reading for them. And he's like, no, you don't need that. And I was like, okay, I'm just not going to do other people's videos anymore. Oh, breaking news. Pal World is doing a collab for Legend of Mushroom. Cool. Random ass email I got.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've never heard of Legend of Mushroom, but there you go.
Wait. That Pokemon thing is another ripoff? Really? I thought it was real. I thought it was Pokemon. That's crazy. Yep. Pigmon? It's even called Pigmon. That's why I thought it was just Pokemon. There's Link in the background. I thought they were merging their IPs or something. Oh my God. Nintendo must be having a fun time. Anyways.
You know who's not having a fun time?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I'm not.
Yes. Great segue that I totally missed out. But back to politics for a little bit. The White House, the official White House Twitter account is certified insane. If you have not noticed or checked, they have been gloating and clamoring over killing hundreds of school children gleefully.
But no.
Pretty much. So if this offends you, leave.
That was Iran. We were told.
I guess, they're brown kids. They don't count.
They're really inaccurate with their missiles.
I still remember I was watching like a news piece, and it was when the Ukraine stuff started. Another heinous war, by the way. And some of the people were like, this isn't supposed to happen to us. I'm like, okay, guys. All right.
Look at these Ukrainians. What the heck?
But yes, the story is Steve Downes, the legendary voice of Master Chief, and still the voice. Thankfully, I was a little worried they would replace him with the coming games. Maybe they still will for the next one. But anyways, he put out a pretty nice statement talking about how he obviously does not support the use of his voice in war propaganda, literal war propaganda, and he condemns the White House from doing so. What happened?
We're not at war. You're calling it war propaganda.
We're not
Come
war.
on.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. Technically, yeah, you guys are not at war. That's true.
We haven't declared a war since World War II. We have not been at war.
His exact word for the ending was, I demand that the producers of this disgusting and juvenile war porn remove my voice immediately. If you haven't seen it, the White House Twitter is posting a bunch of really crappily made memes and edits with video games and things like that, interspaced with real footage of real people getting killed, dying, blown to little pieces, gone. Like, I don't know how else to phrase it. There's an image that keeps popping up on my feed of this little kid. The last picture taken of him wearing these little glasses and a little tiny lunchbox heading to school. That kid's dead. American missiles too, by the way. Yeah, politics, I know. Deal with it. It was an American missile. It's one thing to glorify this war, to this kind of stuff, right? He is well within his rights, Steve Downes here, and anyone involved, Nintendo too, to say, hey, listen, I don't agree or support this at all. Yes, fair use, crap like that. They can do what the hell they want to do. He can still speak out about it. That's okay. And just because he voices Master Chief, who is in a video game about war, which, by the way, is still an anti-war video game in terms of like the books and the literature and all that crap, right? Just because he plays that doesn't mean he's somehow incapable or not able to talk about this. And yes, I'm sorry, and no, I don't think that if it was a democratic government, he would not say anything if they did the exact same thing. People need to get over their weird party line shtick when it comes to crap like this. Like, also, I'm Canadian, so I can talk crap about America. All right, that's my right.
But hey, all you need to know is they used Anthropic AI for targeting, and it worked. It worked for them. It worked great.
Yeah, no, it's messed up. And the worst part is that all it's doing is going to make more blowback. That's it. That's all it's doing. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
I see people
so 20 years from now,
how come Call of Duty doesn't call them out for using Call of Duty kill streak animations? And it's like the actual companies, again, are always going to pussy out because they have to deal with the government. They don't want want blowback. For them, it would be a negative thing for their bottom line for shareholders. So they're just not going to do it.
Yep, they're not gonna do it. But for you, all you guys living there, heck, my gas went up. I was in the States a couple of days ago checking. I think gas in Michigan's gone up 70 cents since this whole thing started. Kind of a stupidly high number. Like it's.
And then,
but anyways, yeah.
Shockingly enough, the president said it's all over, and everything shot way down. And so all the people who shorted everything made a ton of money, and then the people who bought it when it was way down, and then the other guy, Hexith, came out and said it's not over. Goes back up, and they just keep
the most blatant market manipulation I've ever seen.
It's the Kalshiing of the world economy. Poly market.
It's crazy. Obviously, I condemn the war. I condemn any kind of attacks like this. Hopefully, it ends as soon as possible. And yes, the Iranian regime are terrible. No flipping sympathy for me there, right? Not at all. That being said, it's not America's job to police the world. I'm sorry, it isn't. It's not America's job to fire missiles and blow up brown people for decades. And then 20 years from now, when something happens on American soil, I'm not saying it will or it should. It definitely shouldn't.
They've already started giving warnings about fatwas and stuff. So,
When something eventually happens or might happen, and Americans are going to be like, oh, why'd they attack us? We didn't do anything. Because, the Gulf War is also that too, by the way. It's going to come back down to this. And the 190 school kids blown to pieces in a surprise attack. But that is the more somber part of the news. Steve Downs speaks out against it. I think we've had a couple other people too. It's ridiculous. Heck, they used Nintendo's font recently, or like an image from Pokepia to do stuff. Whew, all right. Speaking of prices going up.
This is breaking. This just happened. I haven't even written this.
What the heck? I didn't see this. The price of Fortnite V-Bucks is going up. Wow, I guess the war is causing everything to go up in price, huh? Fortnite's fabled V-Bucks are now going up essentially $2 each, looks like.
Yeah, right? So you get less for what you're getting less V-Bucks for what you pay. The battle pass goes down. Fortnite crew. Yeah. So instead of getting the grant, you used to get 1,100 when you spent $8, I think, and now you'll get 800. You used to get $1,000 from Fortnite crew, which is part of Game Pass Ultimate. Now that'll be 800. So Fortnite.
What's this Epic Awards thing? Epic Rewards thing. They're saying you essentially get all that money that you're losing back,
but it's
Epic Rewards.
I have no clue what Epic Rewards are.
Oh, basically you need to purchase it's another, oh my God, cat sit. It's another thing. No, don't hit the keyboard. Where if you buy it through Epic Game Store, Epic's payment system across PC, iOS, Android, and web, then you get 20% back.
Yeah. Okay. So it's trying to get them to not have to give the cut to everyone else more and more.
Yeah.
So load Fortnite on your PC through the Epic launcher and buy everything there, and it'll be on your account everywhere. But we'll get that. We'll save that 30% from Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah. Looks like probably the bigger change is that they're removing the 500 bonus V-Bucks from the Battle Pass. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to sting for people who really play the game and buy the Battle Pass all the time.
Forever. Now they're in squeeze mode. That's what we always see. Everything starts out in growth and goes to squeeze.
Yep, which is why we all knew Game Pass price was going to go up. Everyone knew it. Anyone saying they didn't know it, they were stupid. They were lying. It was going to go up. Common sense. Still going to go up, by the way, especially PC. So again, stock up if you're on PC. But yeah, no, wow, everything's gone up. That kind of sucks. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on to a game I will hopefully eventually play this year as I make my way through it. Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 9, is getting a story expansion confirmed by the director. I kind of don't want to read more of this just in case it has story spoilers. Does it, Jesse? Or
I don't know. It was Insider Gaming wrote it up. I hadn't written
exactly.
it up yet.
So I don't know how spoiler friendly those guys are.
I'm used to John reading everything and then I just react.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm reading it. So they will continue to address all bugs and performance issues and confirm new content. It will receive a photo mode soon. The developers have a surprise planned for May. They have a new mini game on the way, and then they confirmed that there's extra story content in development, and the expansion will delve deeper into the world of Requiem, but it will take some time.
Okay, all right.
Like Village's Rose expansion took a while.
Yes. And okay, really quick. This game takes place before Rose's expansion, right?
Yeah, hers
timeline-wise? Like 20 years later or something.
Yeah, hers is way in the future.
It's like 2040 or something. Yeah. Okay, good. All right.
Cool.
Resident Evil 9 is clearly a contender for Game of the Year so far. If you guys have not seen it or noticed it, it has a fantastic score on Metacritic. It also broke records on Steam. Yeah, Steam numbers, I know. But it broke records on Steam regarding concurrent users and purchases.
And it's their fastest selling at 5 million.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. It already is at 5 million. Honestly, happy for Capcom.
Yeah.
Man. I remember when Capcom was collapsing and then RE2 and Monster Hunter World came out kind of close to each other and boom, just all back up.
In a decade, they had RE2 remake, which was amazing. RE3 remake, which was mediocre. RE4 remake, which was amazing. RE7, RE8, and were both good. And then RE9 was amazing. And
there's rumors that there's currently an RE1 remake in the works.
That was the furthest one out. It's Code Veronica 0.
Oh, wait, they're doing Code Veronica?
Yeah. The rumor the next one's Code Veronica, and then 0, then RE10, and then RE1 remake.
I just started Code Veronica like yesterday. God, holy crap. This tank movement system is taking me a while to get used to. Oh my God. But I can see that it works better with the old style camera angle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like playing the first game, my character would keep kind of spinning around like a circle because the camera's angle would change. Clearly it's meant for this tank style movement. I get that. Mm-hmm. But wow, I've got hit by zombies I should not have because I'm just trying to slowly move my character out of the way. But hey, Jesse, would you say that Resident Evil has finally gone mainstream?
That was a painful podcast. I know what he meant.
Oh my God.
He meant hitting a zeitgeist for now, and he eventually got there. But Resident Evil's one of the bigger ones ever. And I also saw someone try to say, oh, the fat one. There was a comment, oh, the fat one was so shocked when he saw what God of War sold. And it's like, no, I'm not. I knew the PS4 run from Bloodborne through The Last of Us 2 was nonstop, 10 plus million almost on everything. Really good sales numbers. It kind of died a bit with The Last of Us 2, which did not, and Ragnarok then did not perform the same. But also, even though I think a lot of them were cross-gen for a while, it just slowed down. Resident Evil has had a bajillion games come out, but it's almost 200 million now. It should be approaching 200 million total now. And you look at Street Fighter, which is 60.
Yeah. No, it's a huge franchise. Dude, it's had 5-6 mainstream movies. Mm-hmm. When people in the past thought of a video game movie, Resident Evil was right up there. In fact, it's probably one of the first ones.
And
the first one's still decent.
No,
in my
it's
opinion.
Horrible.
It is.
It's a terrible.
It is still
movie.
decent. It's got that 2000s cringe. Oh my God! Speaking of 2000s cringe, holy crap! Code Veronica, the 2000s cheesiness. Oh, what? Randomly, some guys father. I'm like, what?
No, Capcom had worst of the worst translations and dubs.
Okay, it does, right? There's got to be part of it.
The first one I think is all around great is 9. 7
really,
was good. 8 was good. 8 had good performances and stuff, but not great. But remake, 4 remake, pretty darn good. All really close to great. And then I thought 9 was legitimately fantastic.
I kind of at this point assume the cheese is just part of the franchise. Just how over the top the characters are and the voice acting can be.
And that's gone in 9, really.
Really?
Yeah,
okay,
it's actually good.
Interesting.
Because their voiceover in Capcom games is routinely horrible for the
English stuff.
legit.
It sounds like they recorded them all back to back and no change in expression.
If I'm reviewing, if we get Pragmata, if we get Onimusha, I will check out the English. But those are things I'm probably just going to do in Japanese.
Oh, maybe I should play this in games in Japanese. Actually, I don't think I have the
these were made for English first. I think Pragmata probably is, but Onimusha is definitely made for Japanese first.
For example, I'm playing Resident Evil Code Veronica, and there are clearly scenes where I'm like, okay, this is clearly just Japanese people watching a bunch of American movies and being like, hey, we gotta put some stuff in. Let's get a helicopter just firing bullets on everyone and windows breaking and people jumping in slow motion. I'm like, okay, all right, guys, I get it.
Watch the you ever see the live action for the first Resident Evil game from the original release?
Oh wait, there's a commercial or something?
Live action.
No
video.
way.
Yeah, it's
Resident Evil 2 opened up with live action news. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, the original live action from the first Resident Evil game that I remember was.
Oh my God, I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
For those wondering though, these games honestly they hold up. I've played 1, 0, 2, 3 so far. I actually really like 3. I know people that have played the original say it removes a lot, like Jesse said that. But as someone who did not play the original and who wanted a short game, 3 was really quick. And it was fun. It was enjoyable. The ending was really bombastic. I had a really good
giant nose. on Nemesis.
Sorry?
He had a big nose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. But okay, Nemesis is one thing, but flipping Mr. X, at one point, I was so frustrated at this piece of crap. And then I turned around to me just laughing. When Leon starts laughing at one point, I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, dude, I get it. I get what you're going for. I'm in now. Like, but yeah, no, the games are still really good. They were all on sale for like $10 like 2 weeks ago, which is why I picked them up. But yeah, no, Resident Evil 9 is doing really well. Keep an eye out for it. It'll probably
6
be
is just bad. It's frustrating and terrible.
Yeah, I'm kind of. It is co-op though, right? Technically.
I think I don't know if all of it is, but I know like the Leon parts are.
Okay, because I think I might just use that to kind of like 5 and 6. I plan on maybe co-oping with a friend, so that might extend my time playing the series, but it'll make them playable. Is the goal? Okay, moving on to. Did you just have this too, or was this always there?
No, that's the last one. It's a nice little one to end on.
Yeah, it is. Don Daglow and Rebecca Ann Heinemann to be honored at 2026's Game Developers Choice Awards. So Daglow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
No. I honestly, I'll be honest. I don't recognize the names. So.
Well, I know Rebecca Ann Heinemann was long term. She should, I think, in there it says more about it, but she had just passed away from.
Late 2012. Oh, that's really recent then. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, that's a good. She said they worked on games like.
Of course, had the freaking dead namer because he's a douchebag. So it was nice to see couple of industry legends. I think
for those wondering, she's worked on games like the 3DO version of Doom, Myth 3, Baldur's Gate 2, Bard's Tale 3. Like these are legendary games.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
No, they added co-op to Ada's campaign in 6. Okay, good. For Resident Evil.
So it didn't have it originally? Interesting.
I remember there was it was mostly co-op, but I don't think it was all co-op, but also there's 2 Ada Wongs. I don't know. The story gets really weird.
So 6 is the whole point. Okay, speaking of a weird story, I'm like, how do they pick canon when like clearly massive changes happen depending on which character you play first and stuff like that? And 2, you know what I mean?
They seem to make some choices on what the canon is throughout Requiem for 2.
All right. Okay. I mean, I figured Leon and Ada
remembers meeting the guy in Requiem. The guy who gets bit and dies eventually in 2.
Oh, yeah.
So when you start with Leon. So it seems to be canon Leon A.
What? Really? God damn it. I thought it would be the exact opposite, so I did the opposite.
Yeah.
No, but I assume Leon and Ada have like a close relationship, so I went with the route that had them together, and then Claire and the kid. But,
Yeah, it's whichever one is when Leon goes in and meets the guy and remembers some
Marvin.
things. Yeah, Marvin.
Piece of crap. He wouldn't die, man. I had to blow someone's head off. I kept coming back. So annoying. But anyways.
Speaking of GDC, congrats to Dawn, and I don't know if Dawn's still alive, but the late, amazing Rebecca Ann.
Yes.
And John is at GDC. I think all the Xbox stuff really starts popping off tomorrow. I think there might be stuff today.
Really?
It's not public stuff, but he is there to both try and get information get the inside scoops, and maybe get someone to pay us to make Console Wars the card game, the video game.
Yep, that's a big part of why he's there. Fun that we can just openly talk about it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a nice little piece to end off on for sure. Some positivity in a world that desperately needs it.
Hopefully we have everyone. More positivity for you on Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Sorry for the political rants. If you didn't like them, it is what it is.
It's hard to avoid at this day and age.
Yeah, I'll be honest, but especially the news is directly about it.
Well, especially because so much of it is going to wildly affect people's entertainment and being able to get away from everything is going to be real hard.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for a Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake review from Cengiz. He's working on that. We've got one other thing going live tomorrow from John that he did before he left.
Ooh, interesting.
That's about it.
We should have the marathon review out this week. Look for a video on that. That is not my review, preemptively letting people know, Tiberius. But I should be doing the video for it. That should be out soon. As for marathon, I have no idea what it is. Haven't played it, so we'll see what Fairy thinks of it.
And unfortunately, Gentlestone, they got there right as it was ending because of their late flight. For Day of the Devs, he's asking. They didn't
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me, Aarsal, and I will see you again on Thursday, even though I don't have a template with your face on it. It will still be John's.
Okay, I will see you guys all Thursday. Have a good one.
Ciao for now.